All right, so we did all of our dynasty rankings with tiers.
Yep.
Badaki and I did a collective tier where we bargained with each other on certain players who
Mm-hmm.
need to be in certain spots. And now we're going to do that with redraft. Now, we are currently in the month of July. It's July 5th
Yep.
today. So this list will obviously change as we go. But comment down below. Let us know where, if there's someone that you think should be in a higher tier, a lower tier, that's fine.
Yeah.
But let's look at this here now for the S tier, Badaki. Who is in this S tier for you of the redraft running back rankings?
Yeah, for me, I have three guys: JT, CMC, and the King himself.
Okay.
I don't know who you, and I know, and it already sounds shaky there for you.
It already sounds shaky. Yeah.
I'm happy to move Derrick Henry because I'm pretty sure you don't have Derrick Henry unless you have somebody else in here. I'm happy to move.
I do have someone else in here.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so let's hear it then.
I have Austin Eckler in the S tier.
Okay.
And he's actually my running back 2 in my rankings. So I actually have Austin Eckler ahead of Christian McCaffrey. I'm okay if some people would like to disagree with that. Tell me what offense you would rather be connected to. They have almost the same role, but tell me what offense you'd rather be connected to. But yeah, I have Austin Eckler in this tier. We're talking about someone who scored the same amount of touchdowns as Jonathan Taylor last year. And finishes the RB2 last year in an offense that only got better with one of the best offensive lines with Justin Herbert as his quarterback. So to me, he should be a locked in top 4 pick in redraft leagues. One quarterback redraft league specifically. So I would like to advocate him for the S tier, but I don't have Derrick Henry anywhere near my S tier. So that's where I'm struggling because I know we're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I have Austin Eckler. I have him the first guy on my A tier. Yeah. I guess the concerns that I have with Eckler is, Isaiah Spiller taking those touchdowns opportunity away. Once I've said it before, I think Austin Eckler is more talented. It was crazy that he's probably more. I would say he is overall better talent. He's stronger. He can probably score better than an Isaiah Spiller, even though Isaiah Spiller is a physically bigger body than Austin Eckler.
I was gonna say I don't like.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't even think Isaiah Spiller is a very talented running back. That's where I struggle with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree. And
it's not as if Austin Eckler struggled on the goal line. He was fantastic on the goal line
for sure. And I think that's where my concern is because maybe they're bringing in an opportunity or somebody else to say, hey, you know what, Eckler, you got us this far. Literally, you took us 90 yards. Cool. I know you want the touchdown, but rest because now you're really putting if he does it again and again and again.
Yeah, they just didn't do that last year. I don't know.
It didn't have the size.
Okay, so what's the compromise here? Because I don't have Derrick Henry anywhere near my S tier.
What if we put? Do you have him in the A tier at all?
I have him in the A tier.
I was gonna say, what if we just put all 4 in the A tier? And you can put Austin Eckler in second spot and Derrick Henry, put him in third spot. And we have CMC fourth. So Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, Henry, CMC. Is that a compromise?
Sure. I mean, yeah, we can do that. Wait, so do you have Derrick Henry ahead of CMC?
I technically have Derrick Henry third.
Okay, right.
So
let's say this is 3A, 3B then.
Sure. Sure.
I don't have Derrick Henry there, but that's fine. That's fine. I know. And especially because these are PPR rankings, but I the more I think about it, I think this is the year everything falls apart for Henry. And
I've been saying that past couple of years. Not you specifically.
No, I haven't.
The community.
I have not been saying that at
you.
all.
The community has said a lot of people have been saying the last year, Derrick Henry, we're going to see the downfall, 200 plus or 300 plus touches. We're not
to be fair, if you drafted Derrick Henry last year, it probably wasn't the right pick. You couldn't have predicted the injury, but it did happen. Anyway, I personally think this year is where the cliff happens, and it happens quickly. Yeah. For running backs, but anyway, I'm happy to compromise there. In my A tier, I have Leonard Fournette, and I actually have Fournette as my RB4. I feel super confident with him. Godwin won't be there for a while. Leonard Fournette was on track last year to have the most targets amongst the running back position. Tom Brady's back. I don't see how that changes. But who else do you have in this A tier? I mean, I have quite a few, but go ahead. Tell me who you have next.
I definitely have a few. I have Swifty, Joe Money Bags. Okay. I got Najee, Dalvin, Alvin, if he doesn't get suspended. I also have, which is shaky, and I still don't know if I want to put him here. I have Aaron Jones there as well. But I'm happy to move Aaron Jones down to the B tier, if that's it.
No, so Okay, so just so I'm on the same page, I'm gonna add everyone that you said that I have. Aaron Jones is someone that I also have in this tier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see if there's someone that you're
The only
missing. I guess
person,
technically not because Derrick Henry would have been in this tier for me. So
yeah.
is there someone that I'm missing that you have in this
The
tier?
only other person I would say would be
Alvin.
Alvin, but obviously that's also in question because of
Sure.
the
Alvin's an
suspension.
interesting one. He's probably the most confusing player for me to rank at this point
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know. Let's just assume here that he's got a 6-game suspension. What would that do for your rankings of Alvin? Because I assume that with this ranking, and before that he was actually my RB4.
Mm-hmm.
I really love his upside. I love what he could do in this offense. But let's talk about it because a lot of people are going to be asking the question, well,
Yeah.
what if he is suspended 6 games? Where does he then rank? So for now, let's leave him here. But I want at the end of the video for us to revisit this and say, okay,
Yeah.
if he does miss 6 games, where are you comfortable taking him?
Mm-hmm.
So happy to leave him there. Let's look at the B tier. Javonte Williams is at the top of my B tier.
Mm-hmm.
I assume he's at least in that tier for you.
He's in the B tier for me as well.
I'm gonna just add people that I have. I have Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
I have Josh Jacobs. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you might agree with that one or not.
No, I definitely do.
I got Nick Chubb in this tier.
Yep.
I've got James Conner in this tier.
Mm-hmm.
I have Travis Etienne.
I don't.
Okay, we'll have to talk about Etienne here in a second. Then
Mm-hmm.
I have Zeke in this tier
I have Zeke
and
as well.
Brees Hall.
Okay, and brother Brees. Okay, cool.
Do you have Brees?
I do. I don't have
Okay.
Brees. Excuse me. I don't have Brees in that tier. The only
Okay, so these are the two players I'm going to pop in the C tier. We'll talk about them in a second. But
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead. Who is someone that you wanted in this tier?
no. That this is exactly who I have. Obviously,
Okay.
in a different order.
Okay.
The one I've been struggling with to put, if I wanted to put in this tier, or not put in this tier, was actually J.K. Dobbins and Monty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just so hard to. This is where it gets hard for me. Because I'm going with the rookies with the opportunities, or technically Brees with the opportunity and Travis with the opportunity, we know, with the talent. And then I believe in Monty and I believe in JK. I think this is where I just got stumped. Like these 4 guys here, I don't know where to put them. And
Sure.
I kind of split it. So I'll tell you what I did in the C tier. I guess we're moving on.
Well, we're not moving on just yet because
Okay.
I want to advocate at least for one of the. I have both Brees and Travis in my B tier.
Sure.
The reason I put them here is because I wanted to discuss them.
Okay.
Travis, my breakout running back of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to get a ton of work through the year. All we can rely on this point is his college profile, and his college profile, as far as receptions go for a running back, is one of the most impressive that we've seen in the last decade. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find a starting running back in the NFL right now that had a better college profile as far as a receiving running back. So if I can only choose one of these guys, I'm probably going to advocate for Travis Etienne here.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay.
And that is okay. We can put ET in the B tier.
I want Brees there because honestly, this is like after Brees, that is where I feel like there is a huge gap in. Okay, I'm gonna look for other positions now. Like for example, if I'm on the board, Brees is the last guy where I'm okay. Like I feel like I can rely on him. I think the volume's gonna be there. But after that, for me at least, that's where I'm like, maybe I'm starting to look at wide receivers here. Maybe there's an elite tight end on the board.
Okay.
But I'm happy to leave Brees at the C tier. I just wanted to explain to people like where I kind of felt there.
No, for sure. And I think like this is where it gets hard because like I said, these are the people that I believe in and I've always believed in. And the guy that I've said will be my breakout this year was Monty, and that guy that's going to continue to get the workload. He did miss some time. He was on pace to be another, I think a top 8 guy again this year. He was top 5 the year before. I really believe in David Montgomery. I really believe in what he's going to do. And Justin Fields in this offense. I think that's where it's shaky for me.
Sure.
So I'm happy.
I have Monty in this tier. I just have other people ahead of him.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to place him in here.
What I did was that I split everyone. So I had Monty, Brees, Etienne. So I had Monty, Brees, Dobbins, and then Etienne. That's what I did to break it up because I didn't know what to do. Genuinely.
Sure. So I have Dobbins in this tier as well. I have him ahead of Monty, but I'm happy to place him here.
Yeah.
He only thing that worries me is the reports that he might not be ready for for the start of the season. But
JK.
I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Let's
as well.
find out what happens. But if reports come out that, hey, he's good to go week 1, I have no problems drafting him probably in the same area where I'm drafting Travis Etienne. Honestly, like that's the confidence I have in him and his workload and the identity of that offense. Someone else I'd like to add in here would be Elijah Mitchell.
Yep, that's what I have.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I'll tell you the people that I have.
I have a lot of people in this tier. By the way,
too.
This is the tier with my most people. Go ahead, tell me who you have.
I have Cam, AJ, Mitchell, Miles, Gibson, Damian.
Okay, I have Cam, AJ. I also have Miles. I also have Damian, but I have more than that.
Okay.
In this tier as well. Where's Damian Harris here? Here he is. I have Tony Pollard in this tier, and I actually have him significantly higher than some of these other guys. So Tony Pollard for me, he's my running back 25. I would more have him in the middle of this tier. I'm comfortable taking Pollard over guys like Dylan, Sanders, Damian Harris this year, but at least he's in the C tier. So I'm happy to place him in the C tier.
Okay.
We don't have to place him higher. Is that all you have? Because I have a couple more players.
The only other person I did have on this tier but switched was Ken Walker, excuse me, the real estate agent. That's really the only other person. I was advocating for Tony at one point, but I did move into my D tier.
So you're not taking Antonio Gibson over any of these players in redraft?
What do you mean?
Antonio Gibson's in your D tier. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's the last person in my D tier. Literally.
He's the last person in your D tier.
No, he's the last person, excuse me, in my C tier. He
is in this tier.
He is. Yeah, I said he is in this tier. Sorry.
Okay, my bad.
You didn't put him in. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
That's my bad.
Okay.
I have Gibson at the beginning of this tier, but I have Brees right ahead of him. But he's actually at the beginning of this tier for me.
Right.
But I'm happy that he's at least in the C tier.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about a guy who's already finished top 12 2 years in a row. I understand Brian Robinson's there. Do you think Brian Robinson is talented? Proceed with caution. I don't think he's a very talented running back.
Yeah.
I don't see the burst. I don't see him being a big factor in the NFL. Could be wrong. Goal line, he'll definitely have a role. There's 2 other players I have here.
Okay.
One's Melvin Gordon, and one's Cordero Patterson.
Okay.
For Melvin Gordon specifically, if we're gonna put Javonte where we're gonna put him, what is 45% of that workload worth? It has to be worth a C tier player, for sure, in my opinion. I'm gonna place him here, and then you tell me if you're uncomfortable with either of these guys in this tier, and then we can talk about it.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy with at least Cordero. I think Melvin is a guy that I would still put in my D tier.
Okay.
I'm a big advocate for Melvin. I was a big advocate for Melvin. I was like, why not Melvin? And every time he had the ball, it felt efficient.
He played well.
It felt like he was getting, he was averaging some points. I think he was a certain point in the year, he was a top 20 back.
I don't personally think it's crazy to say that they could both be top 15 running backs with the offense that they're going to be a part of. And how good they were last year with a terrible offense. That's why I'm like, Melvin's a pretty good running back to target later on if you don't get Javonte.
The only reason why I'm hesitant now is because this offense will be more efficient in the air with Russ. So I think it's either going to be, it can be 50-50 or it can be one day, hey, Melvin's just hot right now. He's taking the workload. Javonte's just hot right now. So I think that's where it's tough for me. I do have him in my D tier. I'm actually having him in the middle of the pack of the D tier. So
I'm happy to put him at the beginning of the D tier then.
Yeah.
As far as Cordero goes, I don't see why they don't use him the same way last year. They definitely improved with Drake London, but I think he probably still gets 12 to 15 touches a game. And with what he can do with just one touch, I think he's worth drafting in this tier. To me, I look at guys like Cordero and Melvin, and I think, man, those are some of the best late round running backs, along with Tony Pollard, that you can buy this year. Okay, so D tier, I know you said Ken Walker.
Yeah.
I have him in this tier as well.
My D tier would be Ken, Tony Pollard, then Cordero Patterson, then Melvin, then I had Clyde, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like that was just so you can know where I had those players before.
Sure. I got Clyde in this tier. I got Kareem in this tier.
Yeah, I have Kareem as well.
I've got James Cook in this tier.
Mm-hmm.
I have Chase Edmonds in this tier.
Yep.
People aren't gonna like that.
I actually have him in the tier as well.
I can already hear people
It's
commenting.
tough. It's tough.
The disrespect of Chase Edmonds, you know.
Yeah, there's just too many miles in that backfield, and we don't even know who's gonna be the guy. I mean, the expectation is that it's Chase. I mean, it could be Raheem. It could be anyone. Yeah, it can be anyone.
I got Singletary in this tier. If I'm gonna put James Cook, I feel like I have to put Singletary.
Yep. I agree with that.
I also have Penny and Rojo.
I have Penny. I don't have Rojo.
Okay. You know, Rojo is one of those players I am okay to not have on this tier.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the players I have in the F tier, I think to myself, there's no way I don't take Rojo over all of those guys. So that's why I struggled to put him in the F tier. But
okay,
I'm happy to meet you there and put him at the beginning of the F tier. I just wanted to, say I feel like he does stand alone for the rest of the guys that are remaining
mm-hmm.
that you could draft in my eyes. Being in that offense, Darrell Williams is gone. Clyde is there. He's had some injury history. And the opportunity he could have on the goal line, I mean, what could that be worth? Let's find out. I definitely feel like Rojo's worth drafting. We thought he was talented, just didn't get any opportunity last year.
Yeah. I believe in the guy.
F tier. Who's at the top here for you?
Darrell, Damian, JD, Ingram, Stevenson, Michael Carter back. Then I have Rojo, Henderson, and Tyler Algier.
Okay, so you said Darrell, Damian.
Darrell, my bad. Darrell, Damian, JD. So Darrell Williams, Damian Pierce, JD McKissick, Mark Ingram, Ramondre Stevenson, Michael Carter back. And then I had Rojo there.
Sure. I don't actually have Mark Ingram in this tier.
Okay.
For me, I don't have Mark Ingram in this tier. I don't have Darrell Williams in this tier.
You actually have him higher or lower?
No, I don't have him on this. I couldn't put him in the same tier with these other guys. So I just don't have him in a tier.
Right. Okay.
That's same with Brian Robinson. Same with Rashad White.
I don't have Rashad White.
Same with Mark Ingram. Those guys, I just couldn't put in this tier because I don't think I would draft them near these other players.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think I guess some of the players that I've been talking about lately is Darrell Williams, however you want to say it. Great opportunity there. It's not if it's when James Conner gets injured where he's going to see opportunity. Sure. And then Damian Pierce, another guy that I think at the moment he's going to get a 50-50 workload. So whatever.
Maybe Marlon Mack should be in this tier.
Yeah, maybe we didn't think about that. And then Mark Ingram, obviously, if Alvin Kamara gets injured or gets suspended for 6 games, then Mark Ingram could be skyrocketing up this list just for those 6 games.
So here's the conversation we have to have now. If Alvin is suspended for 6 games, where do you take him? Because 6 games, that's a lot of time. I mean, think about it. Then you also have his bye week. So if your regular season is 14 weeks, you will be missing Alvin Kamara for half the year. And where do you end up drafting him? I mean, personally, I don't know where you stand on it, and people are going to see this as really drastic. I don't think I can draft him ahead of Cam Akers. That's kind of where the spot is for me. I don't know where you stand,
I think when anyone is suspended, when anyone is going to miss time, and I want to win in this league, especially in the redraft league, I'm not trying to play catch up. I'm just going to avoid him completely. If I had to put a place on it, I'm putting him right in the D tier, maybe right after Cordero Patterson or Melvin Gordon, like around there. That's how I feel when somebody is suspended. Same thing with D Hop. I don't want any part of him in any redraft league. I don't want any part of Alvin Kamara. Unless it's like a 2-game suspension, cool. Like 2-game, 3-game.
That could change a lot.
But that definitely changes.
So, assuming it's 6 games, I personally would probably still take him over Cordero, Tony, Gibson. Not Gibson, sorry. But I think, right around Cam Akers is my sweet point here.
Yeah, and I think this is also expectations.
But it's a conversation.
How did your board fall? Who do you have in your running back position? Did you go RB heavy, got some wide receivers, and then maybe Alvin fell to you? Do you have Najee and Like, do you have a Najee and a David Montgomery, and then Alvin Kamara can be your RB3? Or would you rather go, Najee, Monty, and then Gibson can be your RB3?
And something that might be very underlooked here as well is the flexibility that you want to have on waivers. Yeah. You don't want to have D-Hop and Alvin and some of these guys who are suspended burning a hole on your bench. It's just not worth it. Every week, I feel like I am trying to figure out the space I need to try and pick up the waiver wire player that I want. So, personally, I'm more comfortable around the A.J. Dillon point because I think Kamara does become a league winner at that point.
Okay.
But I'm happy to just put him here and have a conversation about it. But yeah, guys, let us know. And by the way, if Alvin doesn't miss any games, I could have him as high as here. Like for me personally, with what I think he can do in that offense. So he I think is easily the most fluctuating ranking right now.
Yeah.
But all right, let us know. Comment down below. Let us know what you think about these rankings. You probably have some players higher or lower, and that's okay.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.